Good evening, namaskar, and welcome. My name is Peter Abraham, and I'm thrilled once again to bring all you viewers to this live stream of the India Online Poker Championship that's taking place at the virtual felts of SpartanPoker.com. It's going to be an interesting final table here. It's one of the bigger final tables that we're going to be seeing very, very shortly. And this, of course, is the 11th edition of the IOPC that's taking place at Spartan Poker. And in this 11th edition, the theme is all about the Mission Khazana. That's hashtag Mission Khazana because there's a lot of treasure, there's a lot of gold that's going to be happening in the course of this series. Lots of prize money happening, 30 crores, in fact, that's there. And let's not forget that IOPC leaderboard, which has a 1 crore prize pool attached to it as well. So plenty of goodies, money and prize money. And of course, these fantastic studded gold and diamond bracelets that are going to be given away, these IOPC badges that are going the winner's way. And let's not forget the diamond-studded crown as well. And every player will get a chance to explore the unseen territories of the prize pool that's there, which is the situation with every unique tournament that's going to take place. And as this final table of this particular tournament is about to start, let's take you through some of the details on this particular thing. This is the 49th event in the schedule, which is the 1.5 crore guaranteed United event, the Millionaire United event, which has a buy-in of 5,500 rupees and a guaranteed prize pool of 1.5 crores. We've had 3,067 entries who took part in this tournament. And I'm very, very happy to say, and of course, the players are also happy too, that that guaranteed prize pool has been crushed. 1.53 crores is what's on offer. Let's take a quick look at the payouts that these players are playing for. These final 8 players are battling it out for some serious prize money. And let's take a look at the payouts. Up top, you've got 24.36 lakhs going the way of the winner of this Millionaire United tournament. And second place will have 14.08 lakhs. Third place is 8.87 lakhs. Really, really chunky, juicy prizes in the top 3, of course. And then you go all the way down the list. A min payday of 2.34 lakhs is guaranteed to every player at this final table. Of course, no one wants to go home first, busting out on this final table. So we'll have a look at how the action happens as the cards are about to get in the air. That being said, I'm not alone doing the commentary for this particular final table. We have a few exciting personalities with us. First up, of course, is someone that is very, very well known on the Indian poker circuit. He goes by the moniker GM Testing. And I think GM Testing's probably feeling just a wee bit upset that he's not one of the players at this final table because he busted just short of it in 9th place, in fact. I'm talking, of course, about Gunjan Mal, who is going to joining us very, very shortly. Gunjan is, of course, a Sunday tournament veteran. He's had a number of top finishes and a number of tournament titles that he's won. Besides playing poker, of course, he's a successful entrepreneur. And some of the titles that he's won include prestigious tournaments like the Big Game, the Nano High Roller, the Monster Turbo, the Excalibur, the Weekly High Roller, and so many more. He's also one of the star players during the India Poker Championships Final Table Series 2.0, where he came third in the FTS 2.0 Big Game in March 2021.
Which one?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Gunjan Mal to the live stream. Along with Gunjan, we have one more player who's going to be joining us, also a well-known face on the circuit. And that player is, well, he's a player, he's a commentator. He hosts a bunch of content on poker on the digital forums. That's Raj Juneja. Many of you all who know him already. He's also an entrepreneur, along with being a poker content creator. Very recently, he played for the MPL at the Mumbai Anchors team, which ended up runners-up in the Poker Sports League Season 3 virtual. So let's welcome Raj Juneja and, of course, Gunjan Mal onto this live stream. Gentlemen, great to have you here. It's going to be an exciting final table that we're going to see shortly. I think we're having a little bit of trouble getting our co-commentators into the live stream. We'll just check with production once again. Gunjan and Raj, can you all hear me? Okay, till we get that sorted out, let's take a look at the chip counts of the players on this united final table. Up top, we've got Vishal Bajaj, who's playing as CrownUpJr. And Vishal has a chip count of a little over 74 lakhs in chips. That's roughly about 74 big blinds as well. And following him is a well-known player in Gaurav Sood playing as Mozzie17. And he has a 72 lakhs, 72.5 in fact, as his big blind count is about 73 big blinds. And rounding off the top three, we've got Suraj Todi playing as Got No Change 31. And he's got a little over 4 million in chips. So that's a big gap between the first and the second players that are there. So that's a pretty wide gap there. 40 big blinds for Suraj Todi. Going into the fourth place position, that's Jacks Apart, which is the moniker for Piyush Jain, who's playing with a stack of 3.3 million in chips. That's 33 big blinds. Amit Ajwani follows, playing as Dr. GTO, and he's got 3.15 million in chips, followed by Shrikant Narayan, who's playing as Glide with 2.5 million in chips. Last two people in the count, Usman Alam, I beg your pardon, playing as Witty White. I like that name. And Witty White has got just under 2 million in chips, which makes it about a 20 big blind stack. And last but not the least, a very, very familiar name once more at these virtual tables of Spartan Poker events and many others is Neeraj Kumar playing as Jannat52, who's the shortest stack with 970,000 in chips, which is just about 10 big blinds. So that's the list of players at this final table. You've got a whole bunch of experience out there. And given the fact that the chip leaders have, beg your pardon, given the fact that these chip leaders have a whole bunch of chips behind them, they're going to make sure that they're going to grind their way up to that top and that title of the Millionaire United. We're going to take a look at the action really, really soon. In the meantime, let's take a look at whether we can get our co-commentators back again. Well, I think we've got our co-commentators on here as well. Gunjan and Raj, are you with us?
Yes, we're here.
Yes, finally.
Hi, Peter, how are you?
Good.
Finally.
Sorry, gentlemen, we've been facing some trouble with the weather here, and so I'm guessing that's also leading to some technical difficulties. But great to have you all both here, Gunjan and Raj. It's been an exciting series thus far where, well, we're not even halfway into it, but clearly a lot of action has happened. And my sympathies, first of all, to Gunjan Mal, who's just there. But not a bad run, Gunjan, considering it's a pretty big tournament, and I'm sure you'll be feeling a little put off by the fact that you're here with us in commentary and not actually playing the final table.
Obviously, it's a bit disappointing to bubble the final table, especially such a big one. But hey, I get to see everybody's cards, and I get to talk to you, and I get to talk to the folks around. So I am pretty excited. I am pretty pumped. It's okay. It's poker. इस बार तो थोड़े बड़े वाले में आएंगे अपन सुपर हाई रोलर में आएंगे
बढ़िया that's the right attitude, because after all these are grinders that are there. And Raj, you've joined us for the first time here at the IOPC. Welcome once again to the broadcast. What have your general impressions been about the IOPC so far? How much action have you sort of got your hands into in the course of the schedule so far?
Well, thank you very much, Peter, for having me. And yes, big fan of the IOPC. And although I don't put in so much volume in for tournaments, I did try my hand yesterday, but didn't go too far. I had some adventures which I can't speak online right now. Gunjan knows about it. But yes, I've been following it very closely. And Abhishek Goindi, good friend of mine as well. He's the top contenders of the leaderboard. So I'm really excited for him and for the others who are here. And Gunjan had a few words to say about bubbling. But that is poker. And we are here. So yeah, I have the pleasure of your company, Gunjan. So that counts for something.
Well, as far as being close on that leaderboard is concerned, Gunjan Mal has racked up a few points for that leaderboard, and we will take you through that leaderboard a little bit later in the course of our live stream and get you to take a look at who's at what position at this point of the schedule. So, gentlemen, like I mentioned, the chip stacks and the players already, but let's go through them once more very, very quickly. We've got, Vishal Bajaj playing as CrownUpJr up top, holding a little over 74 big blinds. I think him and Gaurav Sood playing as Mozzie 17. Both these gentlemen have 70 plus big blinds in their stack. Gunjan, having been the Sunday tournament veteran, as you are referred to now so frequently, having those kind of stacks really puts you at a huge advantage on such a key final table.
Oh, absolutely. 74 big blinds is like almost unlimited chips for the final table. I think last stream we were talking about how 30-40 big blinds is a very decent stack on an FT. 70 plus big blinds is immense. So even if you lose a few hands here and there, like nothing bad will happen to you. Which in turn means कि आप उतने ज़्यादा aggressively खेल सकते हो. जो short stacks है, middle stacks है, उतना pressure उनसे बना सकते हो. और if you get lucky थोड़ा सा भी थोड़ा luck अगर आपका साथ देगा, then it is like you are sailing through on the top 2, top 3 positions for sure. So fantastic spot for both Mozzie and Vishal, and I think those are my top 2 contenders to take it all off, like based on their experience and based on the game. So, and you can see the tags on their name, also signifies the same thing.
That's true. There's no shortage of experience there. But Raj, just to sort of bring our viewers also up to speed, there's been a trend that the chip leader has never gone on to win a title. Well, very minimally has gone on to win a title. So we might just have a few fireworks in store for us.
Right, like they say, right? Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. That is what happens here. And but there is going to be a very interesting dynamic if you look at the chip structure right now. Mozzie 17, Gaurav Sood does not shy away from pushing people around when he has the chip lead, especially on a final table. He really opens up his range and he is confident with his post-flop play. So that is something I'm really looking forward to. What Mozzie and CrownUpJr are going to be doing is try and stay out of each other's way because of the big stack dynamic. And as Gunjan was saying, the mid stack are going to come into play. I would have liked to see a non-chip leader position bet from Gunjan as well, who does not have the IOPC title tag in front of him to win. I would actually like to see a surprise as well, because that's how it gets really exciting, right? If you have the chip leader maintaining it throughout. But yes, I do see fluctuations, definitely. It's not going to be, just someone holding up the lead. But like he said, 74 big blinds, anything can happen.
Well, like this was a point that was actually mentioned by Gunjan also in our previous live stream, where the chip leaders don't mess about and pretty much betne ke paise milte hai, as Gunjan mentioned. You just watch the world go by and quickly collect and run up the spots as far as the prize is concerned. Anyway, let's get into the action right off the bat. The cards are up in the air, and we're going to take a look at the start of this final table here of the Millionaire United. Remember, 24 lakhs up top for the winner, and it's going to be Mozzie 17 playing up against Jacks Apart in this hand.
Wow, that's a small blind fold from Mozzie. That is extremely rare. Like having played with him very frequently, I can tell you Mozzie fold nahi karta small blind. मैं भी नहीं करता, but Mozzie तो मेरे से हो जाता.
I think he's probably taken a leaf out of your book of not messing about too much, at least at the start of this final table.
Yeah, absolutely. I think 45 big blinds for Jacks Apart भी काफी अच्छा stack है. So there's no reason for Mozzie and Jacks Apart and CrownUp to fight. Especially when Jannat is so short, and also VT White is also very short. So ये दो short stacks है, 9 and 14 big blind.
Right.
तो अभी big stacks को वही आराम से बैठो, जो middle stacks है उनको push करो, and pretty much make money. I'm surprised Dr. GTD is thinking so much. He would have snap folded this long back. So okay.
Well, it's just started, so I'm guessing, people are still getting those start of the FT vibes, letting it settle in a bit.
Yeah.
Gunjan, where do you draw the line between the dog and the bone dynamic between the small blind and the big blind? I think especially between the pros, it's like "Pehle tu de, nahi main de." It's like a good back and forth, which always happens. Where do you draw the line? And it's generally in this dynamic we can see that because betne ke paise mil rahe hain literally for the first bust out. So I guess Mozzie will also restrain his aggression, especially against a mid stack like Jack.
Knowing Mozzie, I don't think he has something called restraint in his aggression.
Now, Gunjan, sour grapes are showing.
No, not sour grapes. So I was busted not by Mozzie, but by Dr. GTO. So I have to anti-rail Ajwani. Sorry, Ajwani.
There you go. Dr. GTO, there's a patient that's after your blood on this one, huh?
So I know. So having played with him, I know he is not something. And when you say draw the line, it's like basically you play standard till like your theoretical GTO kind of thing. जब तक कि आपको लगे कि अब मुश्किल हो जाएगा खेलना और यहाँ we have a massive hand by the way, King Queen versus an Ace King. I don't think CrownUp is going to fold this King Queen suited. It is a pretty good hand. So basically, we're going to, if there's a king on the flop, we are going to see blood on the streets, or blood on the felds.
It's not a half bad flop for CrownUp.
Yeah,
and a small blind.
My prediction: CrownUp may just win this hand because of having the chip lead and the small blind being being a mid stack, उसको थोड़ा passive खेलना पड़ेगा. And which is that if it runs out brick, then CrownUp should bet the river and then take it down.
A gut shot in a flush draw.
Get shot in a flush draw. So it's a massive hand for CrownUp right now.
Yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere. There's a fifth card coming up for sure, unless Gotno changes.
Wow.
That's
some aggression.
That is really good aggression. Like this 9 is really, really good for CrownUp. Basically, small blind के पास कभी भी 9 नहीं है इधर. But CrownUp has those 9s. Okay, if the ace comes, if you know that ace is coming, you might as well make the pot big.
That's right. Got no changes. Got some Jedi mind tricks going on this one.
Yeah.
And looking at the SPR, we can see some action happen. There you go. It's a very small raise compared to the pot. He wants maximum value.
Yeah, this is like begging for a call, like, de do, paise, de do, chips.
The only challenge is here, this bet is sort of saying कि यार मेरे पास 9 तो नहीं है, तेरे पास है तो क्या करूँगा? मैं शायद call करूँगा. But Jack Wack है तो call दे दो. That could be tricky if CrownUp jams. Obviously, Ace King has to pay it off here, but he'll be in a really bad spot, by the way. Especially with Jannat and Vidi White being so short.
A good restraint fold, but he's not calling that the king high.
I think he was thinking. I think Vishal was thinking of jamming over there. No, he was not calling. He was jamming.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
And just like that, the former chip leader at this table, is he still the chip leader? No, he's not. He's lost a bunch of chips in that hand. And so Vishal Bajaj, who's playing as CrownUp Jr., losing a few chips there, but he's still got a pretty healthy stack. As Gunjan mentioned earlier, 40-odd big blinds is... hands went up in the air at 40-odd big blinds. So clearly it's not over yet. And pretty interesting hand developing here as well.
यहाँ आप देखोगे मौजी ने बिग साइजिंग काइंड ऑफ यूज किया है 9-5 डूस वाले बोर्ड पे क्वीन जैक के साथ लाइक ऑलमोस्ट 5 lakhs in a pot of 5.5 lakhs. बेसिक ऑब्जेक्टिव ये होता है ना अपन ऐसे छोटे बोर्ड्स पे बड़ी साइज यूज करते हैं. थोड़ा टेक्निकल बता रहा हूँ क्योंकि यू रियली वांट दोस किंग हाइज एंड वीकर एस हाइज टू फोल्ड बिकॉज फोर्थ या फिफ्थ स्ट्रीट में दैट्स अ वेरी गुड चांस कि वो आ जाएगा. And so you're just cleaning up equity with the big size, and that's what Gaurav realizes here. Secondly, जब इसने flat call किया, तो he never hit those range. वो वाला he doesn't have small cards in his calling range. So basically, इसलिए बड़ी size use करो और जीत जाओ. Straightforward है.
There's nothing straightforward about poker, my friends.
That's the theory behind the big sizing, guys. If you wanted to know, like I got some comments कि आप थोड़ा hand के बारे में भी बात करो, ये बताओ, ये मेरे को लोग DM मारते हैं. तो मैंने सोचा आज थोड़ा से अपन, especially like when we have really good players and GTO players, I can sort of declassify Mozzie's game a little bit and make Mozzie not the enigma that he is to everybody. So.
Well, there you have it, folks. There's a lot of professor stuff going to be happening in the course of this stream then.
Right. And, it's a privilege to have the live table with the cards up and like Kunjan explained why this is what. I think you can learn so much while it happens, because when you're learning it from a theory or a book, it doesn't register. But here you can see the best in the country playing how they're playing. And we have the pleasure of Kunjan also deciphering it. I think it's a great treat.
Thank you so much. So in the last hand, like you would have seen 8-9 suited ne open kiya tha. And they called off pocket nines, almost 10 big blind jam. I am not sure about that. Firstly, open karna is slightly risky because there are two short stacks behind you. So 8-9 suited is not really that good an open. And then to call off the 10 big blind, especially of Jannat 52, who is on the tighter side in the final table, I would say. And who should be tight because of his short stack. I think 8-9 suited will not fare against that even for 7 more big blinds. So I'm not sure about that race call by Got No Changes. But he has a boatload of chips, so उसका जो मर्जी है वो कर सकता है. जैसे मैंने कहा, आपके पास जब chip lead हो या ज़्यादा chips हो, तो a few missteps here and there will not matter as much.
The short stack jams with aces.
And Glide's gonna fold. Yes. And like you can see here, Glide has made a really good play. उसने 8-9 big blinds और call नहीं किया. So like basically understands कि King Jack is almost drawing dead over there.
Well, there you go.
And we have the
red aces make another appearance.
Rockets.
Well, Gunjan, there's a gentleman called Kunal Patni. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's played a little bit poker here and there. He's a big fish, is
Just
it?
a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit of poker for Mr. Patni there. And he says that everyone is anti-railing you while playing because they wanted to see you in commentary.
Thank you.
Naughty,
so
Mr. Patni.
I wonder if that is good vibes or negative vibes.
Yeah, I don't know. I would take it as a positive thing, so let's see.
It's a very polarized range over there.
So I can see Ujjwal Modi ka ek comment hai. Mozzie has fear equity on his sides.
I like that. I like that. That should enter the poker dictionary, fear equity.
Absolutely right, Ujjwal, you are there. Like, fear equity of Mozzie is, I think, one of the highest in the country. I think nobody wants him to be on his table.
So I have a story for this fear equity. I saw someone on a final table. I think it was, it was on Spartan. Someone actually folded kings against his jam, and that person was mid-stacked, and everyone was like, what just happened? He's like, no, I was against aces. You generally should put people on a range and not a hand, but that was Mozzie, that was Gaurav Sood jamming. So like, hoga iske paas shayad. And he actually folded kings, and us as his team members, we were like, what? So there you go, fear equity.
There should be some interesting stuff happening in this hand too.
Blind versus blind, 15 big blind. This is, I think, going in.
Will we see the first bust out of the final table?
All right.
Fours hold.
Wow.
Fours hold.
It never holds when I'm playing. Well done, Jannat 52. That's a nice little double up that he's got. And with that, we've got the first elimination of this final table of the United. And that is, of course, the player playing as Glide, Shrikant Narayan, who began with a 25 big blind stack. Shrikant had a little over 2.5 million in chips. And, that only took him so far out of this Millionaire United tournament at the hands of Jannat 52. Bhai, Jannat to nahi mili, lekin what's the prize money? Let me
That's such a sick burn for the like person who just busted out.
2.34 lakhs should soothe that burn a little bit. At least वो prize money आपको थोड़ा सा तो रात को नींद देगा. I hope. So there you go. we're all good here. There's no intent to mess about, but hey, it's about having fun also in this commentary. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And two similar hands going up against each other in this one. The pot is swelled up to almost 12 million. I beg your pardon, 1.2 million.
That C-bet from Dr. GTO got called and he is firing again. This king is really good for his overall range, but the thing is,
position is
that
king.
8 is a little tricky. So again, jacks apart, knowing Dr. GTO, he's playing his image really well. That's what I think. Amit understands कि लोगों का perception क्या है उसके बारे में, and then he exploits that really well. So that's what I like about his gameplay a lot.
So nice to say about him.
Jams. That's a pretty decent jam on 11th. That's a good jam. That's a good jam. Let's see what happens. Guys on the chat, let us know your comments. Show some love and tell us who do you think is going to win. Let us know क्या लगता है आपको क्या होने वाला है इस final table पे. Like, will there be a twist in the tail? Yeah.
Will a chip leader finally go on to win this?
So by default, मतलब Mozzie is winning. कोई और जीतेगा तो it'll be like a surprise. आप समझ रहे हो?
We're not biased.
We're
not biased.
Well, in case players are wondering why they should comment in the chat, let's give you another reason to do that. And here's the first contest question of this final table. Where was poker invented? Yep, it's that easy a question. Where was poker invented? And if you know the correct answer, make sure that you comment on the stream along with your Spartan Poker ID, the correct answer, of course. And you could stand to win one of 5 tickets that are going into the 4.75 lakh guaranteed IOPC event number 57. That's going to be played on the 20th of July at 1 p.m. That's tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. You could get a free ticket into that. Just answer that question. Where was poker invented? And we'll show that answer to you in the course of the stream. And let's get back to the action now. And ace for Mozzie 17. Well, sure enough, it's just following the trend.
The chips are just going one direction. Is incoming and incoming and incoming. Mozzie is building and building and building. Like उसने start किया था 70, मतलब almost 70 lakhs. He is now at almost 90 lakhs. So you see, that's an almost 25% increase. Better. अभी तो शुरुआत हुई है final table की.
It reminds me of that movie, The Blob. You know, the thing that just keeps consuming and becoming bigger and bigger. That's him right now.
Bichara Gaurav Sood, we're not calling you a blob. Your chip stack is certainly the blob that Raj Juneja is referring to, for sure.
He wouldn't mind as long as he's chip leading now and hogging it up.
There you go. So yes, to all our viewers, make sure you get your answers into the chat with your Spartan Poker ID. The question being, where was poker invented? And we'll try and squeeze in one more contest question a little bit later. But for now, let's have a look at the action. If you are joining us for the first time, what happened? We've been bringing this to you for a while now. So make sure that you stick around. Every Monday and Friday is when we are going to be streaming these tournaments. Pretty big, the marquee events that are going on live stream. And we should see some more action as we go along with the rest of this IOPC schedule.
And we see a very interesting play by Mozzie, which is a lead, which you generally do not see. But deuce 3-6 board really connects well with the big blind, and Mozzie is the chip leader. So Dr. GTO has never had any 2, 3, 6 or 4, which means Mozzie doesn't need a hand right now. That is lucky कि Mozzie के पास hand है, मगर Mozzie ये hand जीत रहा है irrespective कुछ भी हो जाए. So yeah, even if he did not have an ace-4, say he had a random king jack offsuit, he's going to win that hand. So that's the power of Mozzie. And like I said, chips are just going one direction. So from 70 lakhs, Mozzie is almost up to 1 crore chips. Is that 1 crore? Yes.
Yep, 98.9.
In no time.
No time. A crore.
Yeah, we're not even 30 minutes into the game, and he's certainly taken a commanding lead here. Okay, I just want to say I'm seeing a lot of the answers in the chat. Some of you are right, some of you are wrong. And then there's some of you who are giving two different answers from two different parts of the world. Boss, आप लोग क्या सोच रहे हो? मतलब यार, stick with one answer, right or wrong. It's not going to be working with both answers, man.
I did a stream and I asked the same question and I was surprised by the number of answers I got. It's actually crazy. So I'm actually looking forward to giving the answer. I know it. Obviously, I can't say it. But yeah, it's very interesting. We're going to see a whole list of replies we can see in the Middle East, America. I think we're going to be on a global trip right now.
For sure.
अभी इंडिया बाकी है बोलेंगे इंडिया
लिख लो हाँ लिख लो यार अगर टिकट की पड़ी नहीं है तो एक डाल दो इंडिया जस्ट यू नो बी पेट्रियोटिक इट्स ऑल गुड
इंडिया लिखोगे झंडा लगाना भूलना मत साथ में
Witty White getting that hand.
I'm actually really interested in what kind of a range Witty White will have. He's the shortest stack right now. And in fact, in terms of ICM as well, he has the least pressure. What do you think, Gunjan?
Yeah, but he still has like 12, 13, 12-ish big blinds. So I don't think Witty White is going to do much. And and just coming to this hand, Queen 5 off is a very terrible hand to open. And C is getting punished. He's getting punished for his Queen 5 off open. Now he's going to pay off 2 streets, I guess.
Oh, counterfeit on the river. Wow. That is poker.
There you go.
Wow.
Well, king one day and pauper the next. That's just how it flows. अच्छा और भी ओवर स्मार्ट लोग बैठे हैं वेवर्स पोकर इन्वेंटेड अर्थ भाई नहीं होने वाला
टिकट भेजेंगे इस रिप्लाई के लिए
आपसे नहीं हो पाएगा सर But anyway, keep it coming. If nothing else, we're having a lot of fun here in commentary. So thank you so much for tuning in, for putting on those answers. And yes, Vishal Raval, fantastic. Get that India flag in there as well. Well done, sir. Wese, I don't think that's the right answer anyway. So just saying. Well, it's nice to be the short stack and get a nice hand like that. Pretty much no-brainer poker in a sense.
I think the strategy here for the small stack, correct me if I'm wrong, is to just stay put until he gets a good hand, put it in, either steal the blinds or get a good double up. I mean, that is short and simple. It's the middle stack where you get a little edgy about how I should play, raise, fold, or play against the bigger stacks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think even from a personal perspective, I've always found it hard to manage a middling sort of a stack. Big stack, no problem. I'll lose it in no time and I'm out of the tournament. Easy peasy. The short stack, of course, it's just almost like a push-pull situation in most times. But yeah, those middle stacks, those can really get a little bit tricky to play.
Agreed. In fact, I came across this very useful concept of risk premium in ICM. So this is from Jonathan Little and his coaches. So basically, you know the equity, right? Suppose you have 36% in a flush draw situation. They say, as per ICM pressure, you should take a margin of 10-15% more when the price jump factor comes in. So that makes the dynamics even more interesting.
That's a pretty good theory, and I'm sure a lot of it has been put into effect when these players are there. And we've got, I think we've got Gunjan back on the stream now. Gunjan, are you with us?
We can't hear him.
We can't hear Gunjan.
But did get a bust out. एक और बंदे को जन्नत दिखाते हुए.
Well, it's one of those things that you've got a short stack and so you have to pick your spots. He did, but unfortunately with that one, Witty White is out of the tournament. He had started as the second shortest in chips. That's Usman Alam playing as Witty White. And he finishes in 7th place for a prize of a little over 3 lakh rupees. 3.04 lakhs is what Witty White took home, Usman Alam. And Jannat ko to Jannat hi mil raha hai. So, well, yeah, that's pretty much it. All you can do is put your hands up and be like, yeah, okay, the poker gods seem to be smiling down, so why not?
And I think the play was also very standard, Peter. I mean, he has this range that the minimum he's going to jam towards
That's
min
right.
raises. And if you look at the equity, it was very close, right? It's again a 50, 40, like 51, 49 spot. You've got to take those and be aggressive on a
Absolutely.
final table. You can't let them
Absolutely.
go.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, some decisions are really easy I mean, most decisions I would think are really easy when you're on the shorter stack. And so, yep, as standard as it could possibly get. And well, unfortunately for Witty White, that was the end of his run in this United tournament. But 3 lakhs, not a bad
change.
sort of,
Not
yeah,
bad.
it's not bad to sort of soothe yourself with that 3 lakh rupee balm. So,
It's a
yeah,
good Zandu bomb.
it's a good.
That's right.
So there we go. We're now down to 6 players in this on this final table, and again mentioning Jannat, another hand developing here with CrownUp getting a suited ace
Can you
queen.
wait? One second.
Gunjan is.
Yes, I
we
think
can
we're
hear
back
Gunjan.
with Gunjan.
Okay.
It's interesting to see Jannat open up his range, even from an early position with fives. But that
Yep.
aggression is showing, and he's actually catching up. He's more than grown up junior now, and him spiking
Ouch.
his queen on the turn.
Well, it was going nicely till that turn card, but we'll see what kind of a bet sizing CrownUp does as far as this particular street is concerned.
So Jannat's going to be mindful of the broadways, right? Because if he's raising at early and he's getting called, king, queen, aces become very apparent in the person's range who's
That's
flatting.
true. And as a viewer, if you are checking out all of these player IDs, you'll notice that some of them have these badges. And obviously the ones that have IOPC on their profile pictures, that means that they have been an IOPC title winner in the past, or possibly even from this schedule, like one of the gentlemen who is in this commentary panel. Unfortunately, we're facing some audio issues with Gunjan, but we're trying to get him back as soon as possible. I just want to mention the fact that even the players who don't have those badges are no slouches. Certainly Jannat 52, that's Neeraj Kumar, he's quite the beastly grinder, if I do say so myself. He's won a number of leaderboards in the past, and so just because he doesn't have one of these coveted badges, it doesn't mean that he's not a top gun at any final table for that matter, not just this one. So yeah, we should look forward to some more interesting action. He's got a lot of people railing him in the chat. A lot of LFGs for Jannat. So yep, it's nice to have a little support system there, Raj.
I agree. So far, he's shown the Jannat to do final table finalists already. So he's going pretty full hog with all that gusto and energy.
Fantastic. Kunal Yadav in the chat has obviously taken a leaf out of someone else's book, and he's also put in 3 different parts of the world. Well done, sir.
I like how people are like Europe. Chalo,
Yeah.
broad, Europe. Did we say continent?
अरे अभी वो भाई ने अर्थ बोल दिया तो अभी बस उसके पीछे सब लोग लग गए. After Earth, everything is a little too micro. So yeah.
But he'd be like, मैं गलत नहीं था.
That's true. Vaguely
Oh,
right,
we have kings
but not
versus
enough to win
ace
that
of the
ticket.
chip leader.
Mozzie.
Hey. In fact, now we are down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 6 max finalists. This is where the game gets quicker. The blinds come around quicker. The action gets even spicier.
Yep.
The blood gets pumping. And we have pocket 8s against ace 6. Let's see if we get some action here.
Okay, Raj, now for the next 60 seconds, we're going to speak only in Hindi because Shravan Chaudhary has very nicely requested us to do that. तो अभी ये हाथ हम हिंदी में ही बात करेंगे. Pocket 8s for... I'm so bad. I couldn't even last for like 5 seconds in Hindi. Please excuse me, man. My name is Peter Abraham. It's a fight. करेंगे. कोशिश तो जरूर जारी रखेंगे. Don't worry about that. The one person who can speak Hindi best from all of us is unfortunately on silent mode because of audio issues. But हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि गुंजन वापस आए हमारे
ऐसा मत बोलिए, हम भी यूपी के हैं, हम में भी यूपी का भैया कभी भी बाहर आ सकता है.
Fair enough, man. Okay, so I'm clearly the only one who can't manage Hindi all that well, but अब है तो है, क्या करें?
हाँ जी, है तो है, लेकिन हम सब भारतीय हैं. एंड यहाँ पे इस बोर्ड पे सबके पास कुछ ना कुछ है. एक, but थोड़ा passive होना towards the river बहुत normal चीज है. Pot
That's
control
true.
करना, देखना कि अच्छा तुम्हारे पास top pair है या नहीं, और यहाँ पे aces against, ये लगता है Peter, it's very good that we have an action-packed table. Generally,
बिल्कुल.
there's a lull with 74 big blinds, but I don't see that need. We have
और
had a lot
काफी
of action.
स्प्रेड है. इट्स नॉट लाइक एक या दो प्लेयर्स कोई अच्छे हाथ या पत्ते मिले हैं. आई फील इट हैज गॉन अराउंड द टेबल. काफी जनों को किंग्स क्वींस और ऑफ कोर्स एसेस आ चुके हैं. इनफैक्ट रेड एसेस मेड एन अपीयरेंस मोर देन अ कपल ऑफ टाइम्स ऑन दिस फाइनल टेबल. सो
Right.
there's plenty of action that's happening. You're most welcome, Shravan. Sorry, we're not as, or let's just say I am not as good on the Hindi commentary front as you would like, but कोशिश तो जारी है सर, कोशिश तो जारी है.
अरे कोशिश पे ही पूरी दुनिया कायम है मेरे दोस्त. It's all
That's
good.
true.
That is all we need.
बिल्कुल सही.
And in fact, I just noticed Mozzie was 3-bet twice in a row where he had rag aces, and I liked his restraint.
Yeah.
Because, and I think part of that equation is that he might be the chip leader, but there's not much difference in terms of the ratio of stacks between jacks apart and Mozzie. So that is good restraint shown.
बिल्कुल. इनफैक्ट इन द प्रीवियस टूर्नामेंट्स हमने इसके बारे में काफ़ी चर्चा की थी कि व्हेन देयर आर अग्रेसिव प्लेयर्स और उनके पास बड़े चिप स्टैक्स होते हैं, यू ऑलमोस्ट फॉल इनटू द ट्रैप ऑफ अच्छा हर हाथ में कुछ एक्शन करना है, हर हाथ में किसी को निकालना है. बट it's pretty good. We saw that with Sid Karya playing as Ari Tribbiani in the initial stream. और अभी Mozzie 17 ने भी काफ़ी हद तक अपने आप को कंट्रोल में रखा और वो दोनों हाथ अच्छे खेल लिए.
And in fact, Peter, you're very right. But इसमें मेरे को बहुत ओवर सिंप्लीफाई नहीं करना, बट पहला अग्रेसर कौन है बहुत मैटर करता है.
Absolutely.
Because, and in fact, अगर आपने देखो that hand also, whoever raised and re-raised, Mozzie knows, उसे पता है कि अगर इसने raise किया है, he should have a substantial hand. He
Right.
goes into a range versus range. So what is the best ace he's going to raise with? What is the worst ace he's going to raise with? So he realizes that with an ace-5 offsuit, it does not suit him flatting.
बिल्कुल.
He's not going to 3-bet him with an ace deuce or something. So that is where ये dynamic जहाँ पे आ जाता है, and you see the actual layers of these players. And we are lucky enough to witness this heads up with all the cards open.
Yeah, it makes it a lot more easier. Easy to
Oh,
play
yeah.
this game when you can see all the cards, but that's just the advantage we in the commentary booth have. And you as our viewers also get to see, मतलब सीख बहुत मिलती है क्योंकि प्लेयर्स का जो माइंडसेट है, जो थिंकिंग है और किस हिसाब से वो अपने टेक्निक्स इनकॉर्पोरेट कर रहे हैं ये टूर्नामेंट में, ये फाइनल टेबल पर. दैट्स अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग टू ऑब्जर्व. और बहुत कुछ राज सीखने मिल सकता है merely by just observing how these better players, you know, who keep making these final tables, उनके खेलने के स्टाइल से, उनके स्ट्रैटेजीज से, I think one can improve one's own game just by observing.
I completely agree. In fact, whenever I do make the final table, Peter, I try to do a review for people who like. I have my own blog called Poker Life India, so I do have a lot of people who are like following me and reach out to me or DM me, and they ask for steps, and we discuss a lot. And I think that's a very important part of poker. It is an individual game, but you have to be a part of the community. You have to interact to grow. There is no other way around it. So, and
Absolutely.
this presents an excellent opportunity. We have friends in the chat discussing things. We have this commentary booth, and we have our community. So I'm forever grateful for that. And I think that is what's going to take the sport and grow it in India.
Absolutely. Great point made by Raj there. It's still, even after being 10 years, more than 10 years in this country, poker is still very much like a niche sport. And so the growth is very largely dependent on this very interactive community. Itna sara information jo exchange hota hai. And I know so many players who, you know, they have won multiple titles और कितने लाखों रुपए जीत चुके हैं, लेकिन they are always willing to have a chat or information share karna. It's wonderful to see that. So it's good that this community is building and growing the sport in this country.
And in fact, I would like to give kudos to Mozzie here, Gaurav Sood, who I actually had a 1-hour conversation with of his time, where on a Monday he spoke about his approach to the game, what he does to improve. And I was actually grateful because the number one player in India, he was approachable, he was open. I half didn't expect it. I was pleasantly surprised. And that talk was really useful for me because he's already there where somebody wants to be. So I think that really goes to show his personality and the kind of person he is. And I think personal development is a big, big part of poker. You can't stay on top consistently without being mentally strong, a good human being, and balanced. I think poker brings that to you, and it also shows it by the way you show. Like, you just show and your results, and you can't just get lucky once, right, Peter? If you're there on top for weeks, there's something different that you're doing.
Yeah, there's this constant debate about, skill versus luck. It's not luck when you keep doing those final tables on a consistent basis. And some of these players have more than,
I can hear everybody clearly.
And so can we, Gunjan, if you can hear us.
Gunjan.
I think we've got Gunjan back on the stream. Yeah, that's right. Deer in the headlights situation for Gunjan there. Put your phone down and talk to us, man. Have a look at the game.
Simple is good. Simple is good again.
Hi, guys. I'm back. Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you, man.
It's okay. The Indian monsoons, you have a good reason, Gunjan.
Tell us the truth, man. You went and Googled where poker was invented, right? Because we're getting some crazy answers in the chat. So I think he just went to double check कि हाँ यही आंसर है कि नहीं.
गुंजन क्या पता इंडिया आने लग जाए.
नहीं यूरोप आ गया अभी कॉन्टिनेंट तक आ गए हम. अर्थ कॉन्टिनेंट मतलब अब पता नहीं कहाँ जाएंगे हम.
क्या हुआ guys? पता नहीं, something had happened to my stream. Then I took a break, but I am back now, and I can see some action has happened. Huh?
Yep, we have two players.
Jannat is crushing it. Jannat has become the Terminator क्या अभी सबका?
Like Raj said, दो जन को जन्नत दिखा दिया, दरवाजा भी दिखा दिया और जन्नत भी दिखा दिया.
All right. I saw like Mozzie getting 3-bet एक दो बार. Yeah.
And he's been playing very restrained. We've seen that in a couple of hands. Very, very restrained. And given how aggressive he is as a player, that just shows his class and his presence of mind at this final table to make sure that he's not letting go of chips unnecessarily. So, good on Mozzie.
Ooh, pocket GTDs for grown-up junior.
I hate jacks. Jacks suck.
Okay, Gunjan, what is the right way to play jacks? Janta wants to know. Janta janna chahti hai.
Wow.
Well, that's one way, the easiest way to play jacks. Push it all in. ये तो बहुत आसान है, कुछ नहीं करना.
Easy.
मुझे टेंशन नहीं है खेलने का, डाल दो.
I think that's what probably CrownUp has also probably faced some bad situations with pocket jacks. डाल ही देते अंदर और कोई headache नहीं चाहिए.
Yeah, ये hand अच्छा हो सकता है. Ace Jack suited ने open किया. King Queen. Oh, King Queen folded. Wow. Dr. GTO. He knew board पे ace आने वाला है तो King Queen is no good. And Mozzie is going to fold. I can see Jack support is stacking up chips really fast. So that's pretty good actually.
Yeah, that's Piyush Jain, who's also come up in the chip counts. Although he started as 4th in chips, it's much more solidified now.
Yeah.
But I really Jannat has really done a fantastic job for himself, considering he started at the short stack, less than, $1 million in chips, and now very much in the middle of the pack. Not even the middle of the pack, he's in the higher counts now. So he'll be certainly looking at running it all the way to the finish line. And maybe get one of those IOPC badges next to his name, ताकि कुछ ताने ना सुने. घर वाले मोहल्ले वाले क्या बोलेंगे? अपने प्रोफाइल के ऊपर कुछ बैज नहीं रखे हो, तुम क्या कर रहे हो जन्नत? So yes.
बैज छोड़ो, सिर पे जब क्राउन लगा के चलेंगे ना.
That is true. The badge is the first step towards that crown, so everyone's going to be gunning for it really, really hard.
Absolutely. यहाँ jack on jack action हो सकता है कुछ board के ऊपर.
My God, are we going to see some action?
Yeah, it is likely that CrownUp Jr. is going to bust in the next few hands. क्योंकि ये hand में पूरा stack जाने का good chances.
Doctor Saab, ambulance बुलाओ.
Wow. Doctor Saab यहाँ jam करने की सोच रहे हैं. Calling is also a pretty good play. अब मेरे हिसाब से दोनों ही सही है. Uh, with the Jack 6, I would rather stick to calling.
His stack was going in anyway, right?
Wow, yeah.
Jack was going in anyways. So yeah.
Due to the SPR.
But उधर
Wow.
call करने से क्या होता है ना कि you still get a like give this crown up opportunity to bluff Jack on the river.
Right.
Basically,
अभी
just
अगर उसके
extend a
पास
little
Jack
more
नहीं
rope.
होता तो this hand is again going to be very interesting.
Wow.
We'll come back to that hand कभी बाद में. Ace 9 versus Ace King versus Pocket Jacks.
Crown up is going in for sure. Let's see who else gets a part of the action.
Mozzie is
Very
tanking, so
broad way.
Mozzie 3-bet.
Wow.
I think this is the first misstep from Mozzie. What?
So this
Did
is
you
where the
see
chip
an
dynamics,
8-4?
stack dynamics come in.
This is where fear equity comes in, brother. That is Mozzie ka fear equity.
Wow.
And he spikes it.
Well,
This
that's
is what we were talking about.
harsh.
He cleared the table for everybody else.
Are you
Went with the short
serious?
stack, took his chips.
Jacks apart का एक ही fold करा था Mozzie ने.
That is
Oh,
fantastic. Fear equity. Whoever put that in the chat, man, you've zeroed in on absolutely the right two words for Mozzie 17.
That guy is
was a hand.
Ujjwal Modi is
He's-
fantastic comment. Ujjwal
You know
Modi
what this is? You know what this is? This is milking it. Hey, nothing else, okay? That's why two hands, milking it.
Don't worry, man. Gunjan has already had his share of these particular gaps in the previous live stream, so he's happy that someone else is taking the mantle on this one. Pocket Jacks for the doctor, and I'll let you two gentlemen discuss the hands a little bit further. I'll be back in a few minutes.
See you, Peter.
See you. So Jacks, यार पहले तो ये बताओ एस किंग कैसे फोल्ड करा दिया मौजी ने मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा अभी तक ऐसा क्या डर खौफ मौजी का खौफ समझ रहे हो तुम
He didn't want to play against the big stack as a big stack. I mean, I'm oversimplifying it. आप बताओ कि क्या सोचते हो? मेरे को ये लगा. And with so much action pending.
मेरे हिसाब से नाम देख के फट गई बेसिकली कि मौजी क्या कहती
This should go down in poker books. What do you think about this? Range versus range? No. Stack? No. नाम देख के फट गई. Yes. This is that Irfan Khan meme, no? Like.
Yeah. बिल्कुल सही बोल रहा है तू.
Wow.
Oh,
Queen 8 suited पे खेल लेंगे हम. Let's see what happens here. Blind versus blind. A very competitive spot between the two.
If we get a 4 and Mozzie.
No.
Come on, chat. 4. Let's have a 4.
Come on, he has a flush. Oh, he gets there. Now I want to see what happens. He has the nut flush here.
No. Mozzie is just going to check give up.
Check shut down. Will he pay him?
Absolutely not. I don't think Mozzie is losing any more chips here. That's my assumption.
He's like, try कर लिया दो बार.
नहीं, try भी कर लिया. Plus, though this diamond backdoor has come in, Mozzie doesn't have diamond.
Oh, bhai, good judge. What? Good judge. You are like, bro. अभी तक तूने कुछ डेफिनेटिव जब भी बोला है बंदे ने उल्टा ही किया है.
उल्टा ही किया है. That is okay.
क्या था ये? He's going to be bite. He's going to be pissed. He's going to be pissed. Wow.
This is a massive misstep for Modi. And look at Jacks apart. Jacks apart is a relatively new play. ज़्यादा सुना नहीं होगा आपने पीयूष के बारे में. And Piyush has 1.5 crore chips. That is more than everybody else combined.
Here comes the chip leader, the coronation for the chip leader.
Oh, wow.
And it was literally gifted to him like this.
Oh, wow.
Nuts.
Without... So,
nuts,
I am a big fan of Mozzie, as you would have known by now. What Mozzie was thinking that it is very hard for him to call over there. I would have not minded that play with the king of diamond and deuce of whatever, right? Because
you're blocking the nut flush. Yeah, exactly.
King of queen of diamonds, right? One second, sorry guys. It's raining in Bangalore and I don't want to spoil my laptop again.
No worries.
Sorry.
We have another all-in and the ace gets there.
All right, Dr. GTO losing some chips. Coming back to that hand here, I still can't believe Mozzie going for it. So you obviously know that Jacks apart is playing little tight. ठीक है, ये तो समझ में आ रहा है बिकॉज भाई ने एस किंग फोल्ड किया कुछ देर पहले एंड बाय द जनरल फील ऑफ द टेबल यू आल्सो गेट अ सेंस कि जैक सपाट टाइट खेल रहा है. But with the backdoor flush coming in there is a very high chance कि उसके पास backdoor flush है.
And him calling that bet actually shows that a lot of flush draws are in his range. So once it gets there, you have a choice. Do you want to represent that? And if you want to represent that, do you want to actually go with your entire stack because he's actually called? So it's also in his range of calling that.
No. So basically, what his sizing actually makes so much sense. So I love the sizing used by Mozzie, which is all in. Again, guys, अपन ये एक हैंड पे बहुत देर बात कर रहे हैं because बहुत शानदार हैंड था वो. This should make the highlight reel. Before anything, Mozzie is going to jam all in most likely. Yep. And he's going to get 2 fold.
All right.
Yeah, we can see. So, बहुत interesting अब रहेगा कि Mozzie to crawl back out of this big hole that he has dug for himself. And I think we will see some really class short strike play by him. Coming back to that, उस hand पे Mozzie बोलना चाह रहा है कि या तो मेरे पास flush है या कुछ नहीं है. Which means if Jack Sappat does not have a flush and he has an ace, he is going to fold that ace. If he has 2 pair, right, it is very tough to call that bet with a 2 pair kind of a hand. समझ रहे, जब इतनी बड़ी बेट आप कर रहे हो उस सिचुएशन पे आपके पास 2 पेयर हो गया तो आप नहीं कॉल करोगे बिकॉज आप सोचोगे कॉल करना है कि नहीं करना उसको.
What he did well was he bluffed confidently, right? It wasn't a half-hearted bluff. It wasn't a half-hearted bluff. It was a full hog bluff and saying that I have it. And obviously we're looking at the range of one hand, right? If it had run out differently and he had the same play. So yes, but you mentioned the lack of blockers there. That would have helped. That would have definitely helped to tell a story. And he's in again. Ace-9 versus King-Jack.
And you see, he's back in the mix with 50 lakh chips. And like I said, in no time, he has gone from up to down and up again.
What I really like about this guy, especially when he's down and about, he's very confident about his short stack play.
Yeah.
Very confident. He's got those ranges in his head, the situation in his head. And here we see him again going against the chip leader, whom he gifted the chips to, but that's okay. That's part of poker. Hota hai bhai.
That's fine. Everybody has one of these blow-ups at times. I think all you and I both have had. I have had my fair share. You have. Everybody in the chat knows.
Yeah. We've all had it.
We have all had it.
It's all about how you handle it from there.
From there. Lot of times क्या होता है कि after being a chip lead for so long and अगर आप chip हार जाते हो ना तो आपका दिमाग kind of out हो जाता है कि ये तो मैं जीतने वाला था. And you get that. I also have this thing. कभी-कभी क्या होता है, you feel that sense of entitlement कि मैं तो top 2 में finish करूँगा. And suddenly you are down to 10 big blinds. And now you are like tilting hard by this mistake. So I don't think Mozzie will do such a mistake here.
And I think that is where the prowess and the experience comes in. Because I think that sense of entitlement, whether it's entitlement of your own cards, the pockets you have, the entitlement of being the chip leader, and once you lose, yes. But now we can see a kind of a resilience which actually shows why Mozzie is Mozzie. So I hope we get to see much action. You know, they say the journey should not be easy, otherwise it won't be eventful. And clearly it is not easy. The chip leader going down and trying to come back up again.
Okay. And that is done for Mozzie. Good game. Again, I do not like that shove by Mozzie pretty much because Jack Sappat as again is
he's going to call wider. He's going to call wider as well.
He is going to call wider, but B, he is not getting out of line. अब समझ लो इस फाइनल टेबल पे अगर आपको बताना है किस बंदे का लीस्ट एक्सपीरियंस वो है जैक सपाट का. So Jack Sappat knows, and he knows that he is not a stupid person, right? बहुत स्मार्ट बंदा है जैक सपाट, right? तो वो सोच रहा है कि यार बाकी सब तो बहुत शार्प्स है, तो मैं अपने हैंड प्यार से खेलूंगा, जब अच्छे हैंड आएंगे उसको मैक्सिमाइज करूंगा. और लिटरली जैक सपाट वही कर रहा है. उसने अच्छे हैंड खेले हैं except that queen 5 off hand if you remember once. But he's having those good hands and like making the most out of it.
I think it makes sense to play more linear. जैसा आप बोल रहे हो कि linear खेलो, simple खेलो. He doesn't need to try anything fancy. कि मेरे को ज़्यादा कुछ I'm going to 3-bet out of line. I'm going to do something to get chips. Now he has the chips. He was in a sweet spot. He's got all the chips, and as you were saying, he's going to play fairly linear now as well.
I totally agree. So this is a good lesson for काफी सारे लोग हैं. आप जो अभी स्ट्रीम देख रहे हैं, आप संडे को खेलेंगे and you might be sitting on a table full of sharks like Mozzie, like Jannat, like Dr. GTO, like Got No Change, everybody with badges around there. And you are sitting there with the least amount of experience. You know that, यार ये सारे sharks हैं. तब आपको पोकर को ऐसे अप्रोच करना है कि एकदम सिंपल तरीके से खेला जाए.
Coming back to this hand, Gunjan, we saw Jax leading into Dr. GTO with nothing pretty much, but he spikes his 6. And he is actually controlling the aggression, but little does he know that he's a standard check spot, well played by Dr. GTO, I think. When the ace comes up the river, you don't want to get fancy.
Yeah, I think it was a good bluff spot for Jax apart over there. Decent bluff spot, though I don't like the flop bet as much.
Wow.
And that's an all-in. It's a good all-in. That's a really good all-in. Dr. GTO is now in a very tough spot. अभी देखो क्या हो गया ना? Dr. GTO has 40 odd big blinds, right? And this Got No Change has around 9 big blinds. No, around 9 big blinds. So Dr. GTO should just call here, in my opinion.
But I think he'll fold. You know why? Because of the equity, the pure future equity in the game. He's going up against the chip leader, and his calling range for such a jam is going to be, I don't know, 10s or better or jacks or better for this spot. Whereas if you had somebody else like a lower stack, maybe Jannat or somebody else going for it, then he could probably call a much wider range.
नहीं आप बिल्कुल सही बता रहे हो आप. This is I think your assessment is spot on. My assumption is if somebody runs it in a solver, it'll come up with, I think, jacks, may not jacks be. So it will be queens, kings, aces, ace king suited, maybe. Ace king offsuit is the clear fold, I think, over there. So guys, देखो कभी-कभी बहुत tight fold करने पड़ते हैं. And jacks apart is just doing really well right now.
And पता है एक mindset भी होता है गुंजन, that apart from playing cards, you are actually playing for good amount of money right now. तो आपको ना थोड़ा बाहर निकल के देखना पड़ता है कि बॉस क्या रेंज है, ये किससे कर रहा है. इसमें भी अगर मैं at the best, I might be an 80-20 spot, not always a 50-50 spot. And what is the implication for the next pay jump? ये सब सोचना पड़ता है final table पे, which other people don't have to pre-final table. So that is what also comes in.
वही जैसा मैंने पिछले स्ट्रीम में भी कहा था, that's one of my easiest way to explain ICM कि यार आपको बैठने के पैसे मिलते हैं. हाँ. जैसे कि Got No Change कितना शॉर्ट स्टैक था, ठीक है, शांति से बैठा रहा, एक भी हैंड नहीं खेला Got No Change ने काफी देर तक, और उसके 2-3 स्पॉट पे उसने ऐसे ही पैसे कमा लिए. So almost 5-6 lakhs he just made by sitting and doing nothing. So yep, and we can see Got No Change. I would have preferred a jam there. Sixes now is a very tough spot.
It is.
But I think Sixes has to call it off, I think. It's a call off try Sixes. I think so. Jam would have been a better play.
Possibly, yes. And in fact, Got No Change, when he sees those sixes and he sees the jam, what he looks at is Jannat, who has a similar stack. So if he calls off against them, hence against the pay jump, and then you get that thing, right? बैठने के पैसे कैसे मिलेंगे वरना? Actually, this is why a final table is a damn living organism. जो equation अलग-अलग हो सकता है ना कि वो final table में आपको कितना change करना पड़ता है, वो कहीं नहीं होता है. And I love that. वो एक energy and stress और वो सब होता है. And the thing is, it works in grays. In fact, Peter and I were just talking about risk premium also. Abhi.
By the way, rocket. Do you see the rockets here? The red rockets are back. The red. Got no change. Jax apart is going to snap fold, and Jannat is becoming the terminator of the table.
Wow.
Jannat, I think 3 players को bust किया अभी तक out of the 4 bust outs.
Yeah. He's the PGO king of this tournament right now, of this final table.
Mr. Neeraj Kumar killing it and crushing it.
Gunjan, I have a question for you. Do you think Jax apart can keep his cool? Because recently he's just been bombing it. In fact, I was hoping he would not go into the last hand. Do you think he will have the resilience to last out GTO and Jannat? Will he change gears and become a little passive?
Honestly, I think he should turn up the aggression now, because both Jannat and Dr. GTO are also on the slightly tighter side. If you see on this final table, if you start, Gaurav Sood was a very aggressive player. Shrikant was super aggressive player. Vishal was very aggressive. If you had to tag in terms of aggression, Jannat and Dr. GTO are the two players who are extremely good, but not as aggressive as like the Gaurav Sood.
Right. Well taken point. We come back to the hand. A top pair and a flush draw for Dr. GTO. He leads out.
That's an interesting play. That's something which we do not see very often on this sort of a board texture.
That's a very just like if I see any aggression and there are going to be overcards, I will not pursue it. And this was semi-connected, flush draw rich, Broadway card. So yeah.
So what happened over there that Dr. GTO has definitely missed a lot of value because if Dr. GTO checks and his hand is absolutely nutted over there, Jack Sapard may take a stab at it. So
what do you think about a smaller bet size in that spot, Kundan?
I don't like the lead at all. I do not like the lead at all. Lead, जैसे मैंने बताया था कुछ देर पहले मौजी ने lead किया था on a 6-3, 4 या 6-3 deuce board पे. That was a fantastic lead from big blind because आपको ranges समझ में आ रही है कि क्या हो रहा है. Okay, by the way, ये hand देखते हैं अपन. Jannat has called and 7 is really good for Jannat overall. And Queen 9 is decided to, I think, give up.
Will we see Jack Sapard getting fancy? Nope.
No.
He's just going to see that.
Jack Sapard is playing really well right now. उसे समझ आ रहा है कि भाई अगर आप देखोगे ना chips ज़्यादा difference नहीं है. 76 lakhs, 90 lakhs and 1.4 CR. So it's not very, very far apart.
Right.
One misstep by anybody and we are down to the heads up portion. So, and I think अभी pay jump भी I think 3 या 4 लाख का pay jump है.
Okay.
So this is really tricky situation यहाँ पे अभी.
In fact, जो Jack 10 वाला hand आप बात कर रहे थे, a lot of the times in his range he's supposed to check. So when you lead out, especially that size, you're like, boss, I have it. You're like, really screaming out. So that is something to see.
Yeah. I think Amit ये सोच रहा है कि Jack Sapard is slightly a newer player. He would not do this leading business against a Mozzie or anybody who will understand what the lead means and then crush his soul on the next hand or the later hand. But Jack Sapard being a new player and Amit understanding his style of play is just trying to sort of be a little more exploitative.
Right. So he's trying to make maximum chips from his mistake rather than, just the run of the hands. Right.
Agreed. I agree. This hand can get interesting. Like 9-7 and King 6 at the board. अगर बोर्ड कुछ मिडलिंग आएगा तो किंग 6 को भी कुछ हिट होगा, 9-7 को भी कुछ हिट होगा. बट ओके. इतनी बात. और बताओ गाइस ऑन द चैट, शो सम लव, टेल अस कि कैसा चल रहा है स्ट्रीम, आपको मजा आ रहा है, नहीं आ रहा, आपको सीखने को क्या मिल रहा है, what do you think about the Mozzie bust out hand? Just let us know in the comments. Also just share your general feedback with us. क्या चल रहा है? But while we speak, while we talk, we would love to read your comments. Especially Raj साहब हमारे, हम एकदम मस्त है comment के मामले में. He's like the super expert pro in terms of this thing. So we get the company of an expert commentator and me. So
I'm humbled.
That's true. यार देख, मैं यहाँ मस्ती के लिए बैठा हूँ, ठीक है. It's literally the case. IOPC ने मुझे 50 पे आने नहीं दिया, तो मैंने बोला चलो यार अभी कुछ पेजअप यहाँ बना लेते हैं.
But नहीं, ठीक है यार, ऐसे ही तो मजा होता है. I mean, that's how we interact, have fun and grow, and that's good. And obviously I know you were anti-railing Dr. GTO, but it seems he's making good use of your chips, so you should feel less bad that they went for a good cause.
Absolutely. Dr. GTO. यहाँ आप देखोगे Jannat is playing a very constrained game, and which is his style. And Jannat really maximizes when he has a hand. He has a very unique style of playing, of extracting chips from his opponents in points where like others can't. So that's the beauty about Jannat's game. And you see, he's been the Terminator with good hands. He has not played a bad hand in the entire tournament.
That's right.
And he has like raked up chips from the bottom to near the top right. So
And he didn't shy away from those flips, if you remember, Gunjan. Even with the small pairs with the fours against the ace queen, that was the first flip he saw. So you've got to take those. You can't be too conservative, and especially when you were short, you've got to see those flips and go forward. And he's done pretty well with those 2-3 flips. And now he's playing a poised game.
Well, clearly, in the short break that I took, a few more have fallen by the wayside, with
Just a few.
us down to the final three at this final table. But I'm not surprised to see some of these names. Jacks apart, just racking those chips up really, really well.
I wonder if you saw the hand against Gaurav where he was, Gaurav
We
tucked
did.
into him.
We did.
Oh, okay. That was the red wedding, man.
Yeah.
With the diamonds.
And in case you missed
I
out on
think
that
you
hand,
may-
we will revisit it in the post-game highlights. So make sure you stay tuned for even more analysis on that particular hand, the red wedding, as Raj says. We'll talk about that a short while from now, I hope. It's down to Jannat. That's all I can say. He's been doing really well.
Peter, now what do you think? Like, we have two players, Jannat and Jokes apart, like fighting for their first IOPC badge. Like, what do you think? Do you
Please
think
tell
उनको
me-
मिलेगा या Dr. Saab?
Please tell me that was intentional. Please tell me that was intentional. That you called jacks apart as jokes apart. You didn't even realize, right? You didn't even realize that. That should make the highlight reel, ladies and gentlemen, for sure. I think we will put that in there as well. But yeah, sorry, Gunjan.
If you
I
make a
just like.
blooper reel of my comments, बहुत बड़ा हो जाएगा. ऐसा मत
And
करो
that,
यार.
ladies and gentlemen, was brought to you by Burnall.
Yeah.
Burnall, the perfect fix for every situation by Peter.
Well, there you go. No offense, jacks apart. I mean, you've got a lot of chips. We will make a little fun no matter where you are on this table. But fantastic play by these three. Sorry, Gunjan, would you mind repeating your question again, please?
आपको अभी क्या लग रहा है कि जैक सपाट एंड जन्नत को में से किसी को आईओपीसी बैच मिलने वाला है या डॉक्टर जीटीओ is going to take like one more IOPC badge and take those two in his ambulance home?
नहीं यार, मेरे को लगता है कि as far as spread the wealth around a little bit, right? तो जिनको नहीं है उनको भी एक आध मिल जाए तो अच्छा ही होगा. I mean, Dr. GTO has obviously got a lot of great finishes to his credit, and as I say it, he is in an all-in situation, but gives up that hand to Jannat once again. But yeah, it would be nice to sort of share the love around, and maybe one of these two, shall I say, नंगे प्रोफाइल में थोड़ा सा कपड़ा डाल देंगे IOPC का.
Oh my God. Peter's on the roll today. Dangi bro.
Yes. This is what we do in commentary, man. It's all good.
I wonder what was consumed during the break, Peter. We're seeing a new
Some-
avatar of Peter now.
Some very nice coffee, no doubt.
Excellent.
Are you sure?
Yes, coffee. And coffee only, no Irish business and all that.
No,
That's what I was asking.
Well, there's some great comments.
Joe Rogan का podcast. You remember Joe Rogan's podcast with Elon Musk? ऐसा कुछ नहीं होना चाहिए.
नहीं, बिल्कुल
हम
नहीं.
अभी भी हिंदुस्तान में हैं.
Absolutely.
Mr. Juneja, I think like after this team, इनका जो production team है उनसे बात करते हैं अपन. Like they would know better coffee में क्या था.
Let's get back to the hand right now. Flush for Dr. GTO.
Yes, we're getting distracted. Dr. GTO taking that.
Yeah, I think after that, क्या बोलते हैं, this red wedding hand, I think all the other hands have become pretty dull.
I know.
Yeah, this is going to be the highlight.
Red wedding, right? Because it made you go like,
So you named it very correctly, aptly. सही एकदम
And
perfect.
I think we're getting a lot of comments on that as well. The comment section's burning up in this particular tournament. So I think it's a good time that we can put out another contest question out there. We'd asked you contest question number 1, which was, where was poker invented? There are a lot of good answers coming through. Some very strange answers also coming through. So let's fire out another contest question for you. Office hours. That is which poker hand? Name the poker hand which is also called office hours. That should be pretty easy, I think. But hey, we've been surprised before, so make sure you get your answers in there in the comment section, and along with your Spartan Poker ID, of course. And you could win a ticket into the event 57 of the IOPC So yeah, it's all good. You can win, a lot of money for free by just taking part in our contest questions. In the meantime, Jannat picks up kings, and that cannot
Wow.
be a
On
nice
the
river for him to
river.
see.
Wow. Now let's
And
see the
that's a lead. Oh, that's a phenomenal lead. आपने जैसे
wow.
देखा, जो बता रहा था, जैक
Now,
सपाट हैंड लगा रहा है, पैसे डाल रहा है. So
now
you are getting
all the resolve of entitlement needs to be given away with the pocket kings, where you've been betting fine, you've been playing fine, the river,
and,
lot of
and you have the
possibilities.
king of spades. You also have the king of spades. So it's little less likely that Jack Sapart has a hand.
Yeah.
I can see a call over here being really. I can see a call coming in here
This is very cringy.
because unlikely. Because I'll tell you the reason, right? Unlikely that small blind has a 4. Unlikely here he has an ace right now. And you have the king of spades, because ace जो होगा वो flop पे या turn पे fold कर देगा naked ace. ठीक है? 4 small blind के पास होने के
Very
chances
good
बहुत
fold.
कम है.
Very good
But-
fold.
But
Good
it's
fold.
a good
Wonderfully done.
And in
thought
fact,
through
in fact, in these situations, because you're opening just 2x generally, and a lot of the times people are flatting very, very wide. And if they've called you 2 streets and they're leading on the river, most probably they have it. They're not.
I have my doubts on that, but I see what you are referring to. What you're referring to. It was a good spot to lead, by the way, like from Jack's part after that check call. Not all spots are good to lead, but that was a particularly very interesting spot to lead.
But at least we didn't see the red wedding jam, so I'm okay with that.
I was hoping for another red wedding, but you get only once.
Only
You get
once.
that.
खून की नदियां 2 बार नहीं बह सकती.
So, wow, this is a new like Hindi muhavra from Peter, and this is just
That's
very
it.
great, right?
I'll just mic drop and leave this commentary booth. Now I'm done for the day.
चेंज देखो, पीटर हिंदी में मुहावरे कर रहे हैं और अपन दोनों इंग्लिश में कमेंट्री कर रहे हैं. क्या कैसे दिन आ गए.
अभी आ जाएगा कमेंट्स में, ये हमारी सभ्यता के खिलाफ है. So guys,
I'm going to nod and pretend that I know what the meaning of Sabhyata is.
oh okay,
Yep.
it's a girl's name, Sabhyata. Just kidding. All right. So we have Jannat going against Dr. GTO. Dr. GTO not
That's a
getting a
very
piece of it.
peculiar amount on just under 4 lakhs in a 12 lakh pot. That is kind of a weird bet size. But like I said, Jannat really knows his game. And we again have rockets. Peter, आज क्या हुआ है?
I don't know. I don't know what's being eaten by
है
everyone today. It's just like bullets everywhere.
ना?
Yep.
Can we see we see a 10?
10 for fireworks.
10 for some fireworks.
Pew, 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 pew. Well, he's going for full value.
That's a humongous bet size, huh?
He's like, I
That
do
is
not
very
want you to see the streets. Give me the money. I'm okay with just this. I don't want to grow a big pot. I see 2 spades. I see some 2 clubs. I see 2 connectivity. So yeah, I think that was fine, Gunjan. It's okay, right? To lead out, you can't always just keep like small betting with overcards, especially in this situation.
It's okay. It's okay as a once in a while, but basically it was not very connected with a 3 on the board. So if the board was Jack 8, 9 or Jack 8, 7, I would have preferred a bigger bet size over there.
Okay.
Jack 8, 3 is a different board altogether. So there are some very subtle differences happening, like when you have a 2, 3 and a 4 on the board. So there's a different dynamic which goes on. But I am on board with the sizing, like what you said. यार ये बहुत dynamic board है, तो पैसे घर लेके बैठो. That's fine. That's a good strategy. मेरे पैसे मुझे दो.
Well, that's a good opportunity for me to announce the winners of the contest question that we had right at the top of the stream. The question was, where was poker invented? And for all those people who put in 3 and 4 answers, sorry, that didn't work. It didn't quite fly. The answer is, of course, the United States of America. That's where poker was invented. And you've got 5 winners who are going to take home a ticket each into IOPC number 57. That's a 4.75 lakh guaranteed tournament, which is going to happen tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. And here are the winners. There's new user, there's Alwyn01, underscore rated, Lucky Box, and Cyclone with a PSY. So there's your 5 winners of this particular contest question, the first one that we had. Watch out for the answer and the winners that we will post in the course of our live stream in the chats of the various social media platforms we're on for that second contest question, which is what's office hours? Which hand in poker is known as office hours? So make sure you get your answers in there. There's still time before the end of this tournament to get your answers in and maybe win a ticket into that same tournament tomorrow at 1 p.m. In the meantime, though, Jack's apart, still holding steady with his huge stack at the moment.
So Peter, like while you were announcing the contest results, Dr. GTO has taken a boatload of chips from Jack's apart. So Dr. GTO turned a straight, and Jack's apart had a top pair, and it went check call, check call, check call. 3 streets of massive value. And Dr. GTO is now above 1 crore in chips. Can you see there are 2 chip stacks? And Jannat has to do some catching up, even though he has 56 lakh chips, but he's against 2 crore-patis. So
that's right. Well, there's a little bit of work. He's been there. He's used to these situations. Is Jannat? He's been grinding at these felts for a long time. So who knows? Anything could happen. He has the experience certainly behind him.
Queen. But Jack's apart can be taken down now. Basically, he doesn't have an unassailable chip lead anymore. So that's something which is interesting.
It's like saying even the gods bleed, right? And then you're like, okay, we have a shot at this.
There you go.
Yes.
Yes, if anyone is going to take heart from the fact, that's definitely Jannat 52. If he can see that happening on the same table, there's every chance he can do that as well. And then, gentlemen, if the chip stacks become kind of even, we're in for a very interesting 3-way. It's already interesting, but it might just make it even more so if the chips go around the table a bit. Deuces for the doctor.
Even the lead right now is not too much.
Was that a 3-bet by Jack's apart? I think I missed that. Did you guys see? With an 8-5 off?
Wasn't a 3-bet. I'm not sure.
There was one. Okay.
Okay, getting no dice with the queens. The ladies get no action.
Yeah, that's got to be a little frustrating when you're just struggling to get some traction and a good hand like pocket queens goes by without anything there.
Oh, I thought you were talking about ladies getting no action, but okay. Yeah, that too.
Ladies always get action. I'm talking about pocket queens.
Right. Focus.
Well, I should just be quiet.
Jokes apart, Gunjan, maybe you should.
Bernal. Peter, could we get a graphic for Bernal next time? Like, seriously, we need one of those.
We need a fire graphic. The graphics team has done a fantastic job of putting us on a boat or something. Right? आप captain हो Peter, मैं और ये कर रहे हैं. Imagine a fire on the boat. That'll be like a crazy thing.
That's exactly how it is.
The draw doesn't get there, and he bets out with a 6. What do you think of that?
I'm thinking he's going to get a badge if that's the way he continues playing, because that was some gumption there. Brass, well, I'm not going to say the word, but testicular fortitude comes to mind.
He did bet. So, Gunjan, you were right. Even I missed that. He did 3-bet with 5-8 off.
Yeah. So Jack's apart is prone to doing some interesting things, which
not so linear, which is good.
Not so linear, which is interesting. He's mixing up his plays. Well, like Peter said, he's on track to make a badge. Now you see Dr. GTO has lost his crore club.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
No longer a crorepati. Yeah.
Taxes happened.
And Jack's apart. Okay. We're seeing some dull action. Let's see.
How do you see this equation going? Will it be okay? We'll get a lot of action and we'll get eliminations very soon, or will it just blind up and everybody will be playing nuance? How do you see this three-way going?
With Jannat and Dr. GTO, मेरे हिसाब से this is going to go slow. Basically you will not see in general a wild action like a Queen 5 off, 8-5 off from either of Jannat or Dr. GTO, which means it's going to be a grind. Or they have an aces or kings kind of a big hand, and jacks apart comes up with this weird like a king 4 offsuit and bangs the flop with 4-4s and just crushes everybody's soul.
Like we saw the kings versus the 5-7 suited. That's what jacks apart did. Gets them on the river.
Yep. Oh,
wow. He gets it on the river again on the 4.
Wow. Do you see that call? That's a crazy call with the bottom pair. Jannat needs some burn on right now. Jannat would be crying. Ye kya ho gaya?
For sure. Well,
wow, that was a tough call. And he almost snapped it off. हाँ तू तो bluff ही कर रहा होगा. तेरे पास कहाँ hand आएगा?
It was almost anticipatory, right? ये तो करने ही वाला है sort. Like I don't want to think about it. I just want to go for it.
Yeah, ये तो bluff है. मतलब मुझे पता है. तूने तो bluff किया है. Wow.
And just like that, Jannat is now in push fold mode.
Yeah. But you can never count Jannat out. I've played with him many times, and Jannat is like, what do I say? So like Jannat plays really amazing cockroach poker. So that's the term for him. Jannat, you are not a cockroach. You are not a cockroach. Let me be very clear. The style of poker is cockroach poker. Wherein it is nearly impossible to kill Jannat. Like कभी भी ना वो बस नहीं होता. तू लाइव खेल ले, लाइव देख ले, ऑनलाइन देख ले. It is नीरज कुमार को बस्ट करना is a massive task. It's nearly impossible times. So I don't know. I think there is still hope for Jannat. Jannat,
just to give some reference to that analogy, is that they say when there's a nuclear holocaust, the only thing that will survive will be cockroaches.
Hey, right? Neeraj, we love you, buddy.
That's how they put it. So yeah, I mean that makes sense. Cockroach poker.
That's high praise coming in from grinders like yourselves.
Ooh. And Queen 9, come on!
Hey, could this be the start of a massive turnaround for Jannat?
Wow.
Like I said, जैसे मैंने कहा था, it's really hard. चाहे nuclear holocaust हो, चाहे actual आपके मतलब kitchen में हो. He's not a cockroach. So again, like I don't want Jannat to. People start calling Jannat cockroach. Please, that's not my intention.
You're so bad. You're so bad. You're so bad.
Hi.
This is what is going to be needed to bust Jannat, I guess.
You better hope that live poker doesn't happen anytime soon, because this is all that people are going to talk about the next time like an IOPC takes place and people gather in Goa.
Wow. Okay. Gunjan, if you ever write a book, you know, that cockroach poker reference is gold. You should use it.
But now see, Jannat is back to 32 lakhs and like one double up and Jannat from GTO. But यहाँ देखोगे कि Jacks apart is in the 2 crore club now. So Jacks apart is slowly pulling away from these two guys. अभी dynamics क्या हो गया ना कि अभी Jannat और Dr. GTO आपस में सोच रहे कि मुझे बस नहीं होना ताकि मैं at least second place बना लूँ. And it's a big pay jump.
Yep.
Right? It's a really big pay jump यहाँ पे. Pocket threes, I think he is going to call. Oh, wow. It's surprising fold. Like, we don't see a lot of folds from Jacks apart with decent hands.
Yeah, he's been playing some very creative style of... his play has been quite creative in the course of this final table. So that was a bit of a surprise there. But hey, that's the reason why he's chip leader.
He knows when to hold and when to fold. When to call with that bottom pair snap, call with ace on
the board.
Wow.
Gunjan, whenever you say that, you know, in a crucial spot, ulta hota hai.
Ulta hota hai. This is like, I am like
back to the Crorepati club.
All the spots. Like, you know.
Wow, back to the Crore Club, as Peter was saying. Snapped it.
तेरे आंखों में आंसू आ गए क्या हैंड था
ये गोवा की गर्मी थी.
Well, that was a nice pocket jacks for Dr. GTO. He'll be happy, I'm sure, to crawl back into that 10 million club.
And there was a rare sighting of jacks holding up as well.
That's true. That's true. Jannat has shown some terrible restraint, like without going out of line, and he's hanging up there, hanging in there. I am rooting for Jannat now. I think he is the Terminator. He has done the maximum amount of hard work on this final table, taking out man after man after man. So
I'm sure he prefers Terminator over the other name.
What you said.
oh, cockroach, yeah.
Hey, you said it again, man. I was trying to avoid it.
Okay, it's mine. I am taking the full credit. So, chalo, theek hai, Neeraj. If you don't like it, then you can take it up with me later.
Yeah, he come and see you as the Terminator, not the cockroach, I'm sure.
Imagine a Terminator cockroach. So that'll be like a weird sight to have.
That's a weird sci-fi stuff.
Guys, if you have an emoji for it, usko chat emoji या gifs like a Terminator cockroach. So डालो chat पे बताओ.
Don't write a book on poker, Gunjan. You can write sci-fi at the way you're going right now. You can write sci-fi for sure. And yes, someone's commented about the fact that Jannat was the short stack when this final table began, and now into the top three. It is a fantastic run by him, no doubt. All of that experience coming into play. And extremely well played to have gotten this far. And hey, the game's not over yet. So Neeraj Kumar, Jannat 52. Might just see a little more of him as we go along. Third question, please. Socially viral. Haro, bhai. हम दो ही contest question करते हैं हर stream में. ऐसा मतलब, we're not like Santa that we're carrying a whole bunch of questions just firing out the हाँ भाई अभी तीसरा, चौथा, पांचवा question भी दे दो. 2 in every live stream, sir. Make sure at least you answer those. You have a chance to win a ticket on all of these live streams. But yes, make sure you get your answers in there.
If you guys noticed that Jack Apart is really going for the blinds as the chip leader. He knows that he is in position and dominance right now. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't shy away with the one player left. He would with the Jack 2 suited as well. Go for the min raise and go for the fold and get in the chips.
No, that's an interesting 3-bet, which is very rare from Dr. GTO. What is happening is Jack Sapart has identified correctly here that Jannat is not going out of line too much, right? The way to punish these min raises is to just aggressively go out of line and start smashing in all your ace high and king highs in there as 3-bet jams, which is how you sort of punish if somebody is opening far too wide, right? But Jack's but Jannat is not doing that. Jannat is playing a very conservative and a very good style of poker. यार मैं बस तो नहीं कहूँगा. Unless you stack me off with aces or kings, I am just going to be around and you figure out how you want to play.
And that gives great incentive to steal his blinds.
So that's it's like a I would say chicken and egg kind of a thing. कि या तो अगर आपको जन्नत ने कॉल कर दिया तो आप डेड हो. So when you win, like you're winning small pots. But the time you lose a massive pot to Jannat. And that's how Jannat sort of survived till now so far. He's won the biggest pots around. The pots he has lost are the small ones, but the pots he wins are like really massive.
Right.
And it's a very interesting style of poker. I like it.
Well, he's going to need a little more help and a little more traction because 15, 14 million in chips is not going to quite cut it. So desperately hoping to get any 2 decent cards so that he can shove them in and hope to get a double or maybe even a triple up for all you know.
So right now, Jannat is hoping Jack Sapart has aces and Dr. GTO has kings. That is the best thing which can happen for Jannat right now.
Yeah, that's a nice way to sail.
Imagine if Jack Sapart 4-bet jams here, Dr. GTO just can't even call with kings. I say those things go there. It's a very tough situation. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, this is going to be yep, there you go.
Oh, he calls it.
Yep.
He
Yeah.
makes the call.
Can we have a 6? No.
Wow.
No. We have our heads up.
Well,
It's a very well,
think-
well played, Jannat. It was amazing.
I don't think he had a choice really. He was just looking to get any kind of paint and he was getting it in there. He got that with his king, but unfortunately, no love on that flop. And with that, we have our third place finisher, Jannat 52. That's Neeraj Kumar, who's taken on third place. And I believe the players have come to a deal.
Okay.
I wanted
And
to
it
watch
looks-
that heads up match.
It was so interesting.
Well, the Doctor, GTO, and Jax Apart have decided that they want to make a deal. We will shortly come to know what those deal numbers were. But in the course of that, it's Jax Apart that has taken down this title. We've got Piyush Jain, that's Jax Apart, who's won this title at the United for a sum which I'm sure is somewhere in the 20 odd lakhs region. But we'll know soon as to who's won what prize money. In the meantime, though, well played to Jannat 52 for his second runner-up position. Dr. GTO, Amit Ajwani, finishing up in runners-up. And he is definitely someone who's got a lot of skill, who's had plenty of finishes under his belt, and one more. Close, but not that close to get the IOPC title. But ठीक है यार, एक badge है आपके पास already, so it's fine. Let's spread the love around. So Jax Apart getting that much coveted IOPC badge next to his profile. And I'm sure we've got a whole bunch of questions that we can ask him in the post-game interview. In the meantime, gentlemen, we're going to roll back and see a couple of interesting hands here where we've got, right up in the middle of the tournament itself. So let's take a look at this particular hand where Jax Apart has got the ace king versus the pocket jacks of CrownUpJr.
No, this is a hand wherein Jax Apart folds ace king, and where Mozzie shows his fear equity. That's what we discussed.
Right.
It is kind of a tricky spot for ace king. So now that you think about it, if you basically Jannat is not getting too much out of line, as we have seen till the entire final table.
Yep.
And if somebody is 3-betting Jannat 52, which means Mozzie is supposed to have a good hand, like more often than not. So it is fine to pass up this spot. I don't hate the play. In the moment, I thought ace king is a really terrible fold. But it is slightly tricky. I would have preferred a 4-bet over there for sure. And really, Jax Apart could have exerted a lot of pressure being the biggest stack over there. And then the Mozzie fear equity would have gone down significantly, by the way. Like once the Mozzie sees कि मुझे टेबल पे 4-bet भी पड़ सकती है, तो Mozzie थोड़ा संभल के खेलेगा. इस टेबल पे Mozzie fear factor was the maximum. So, yeah.
Well, I believe this was the hand that you gentlemen were referring to earlier on, the red wedding at this United final table. He's going to replay that hand once more. There we go. The Queen 8 of Diamonds for Jax Apart. That's our winner of this United tournament, Piyush Jain.
Let's see what happens again. Mozzie 52 bets the block sizing.
Bets into it. The turn gets the draw.
Yeah.
And he also has the queen there.
Now Mozzie is thinking. So Mozzie can have an ace, he can have the flush draw, and he has a gut shot for sure. And he bets a big size, like 3/4 pot bet kiya usne. Abhi King of Diamond aaya, which really makes nuts for Jax Apart. But Mozzie is right now thinking कि ये pot size bet है, 50 के pot में 50 का है. And and it is very likely कि अभी Jax Apart के पास one pair है ace का, because ace king, ace queen pre-flop जो है 3-bet करता, बहुत likely, right? Mm-hmm. But it is very likely Mozzie, this Jax Apart has only a single ace, and that ace will fold. So that's the logic which Moji sort of used वहाँ पे कि ace queen उसके पास नहीं है. Weaker two pair aces like may have raised the flop of the turn, which essentially just leaves jacks apart like more or less with a naked ace. Could be like ace 9, ace 8 type of a hand. And to that monstrous bet, that ace 8, ace 9 would fold. So it's a very good percentage of range which he is going to fold over there. The only challenge which me and Raj also discussed वहाँ पे कि ये bluff करने के लिए diamond होना थोड़ा ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है आपके hand में, because then you block those flushes. Varna it becomes you can run into this spots like slightly more often, like 5 to 10% like more often than if you have a diamond in your hand. So
well, let's take a look at another of those interesting hands in this particular one. All right, it looks like we've stuck on this particular hand, but it's time for us to take a break and we'll try and connect with the winner of the United tournament. That's Piyush Jain, who was playing as jacks apart, and we'll be right back after this. Okay, live in 10. Okay. And welcome back to this live stream of the India Online Poker Championship, the IOPC's 11th edition. And today we just witnessed the end of the Millionaire United tournament. 1.53 crores was the eventual prize pool. And the biggest beneficiary of that was, of course, our winner. That's Piyush Jain, who's playing as jacks apart. Before we get onto a call with Piyush, let's take a quick look at that much coveted IOPC leaderboard, where all these players who finish up in the points are racking them up onto that leaderboard, which is worth 1 crore rupees. So let's take a look at the leaderboard and what the standings are. As you can see, a very well-known grinder in Bhanu Pratap playing as Spectre. That's Bhanu Pratap, who's there at the top of the IOPC leaderboard counts. And the funny thing, well, not the funny thing, it's a really serious thing, and it's a seriously good thing, is that Bhanu has done this twice before. He's won the IOPC. The last 2 IOPC leaderboards have also been claimed by this player. So he's well on track to make it a three-peat. And there's a good chance that we might see him claim this title once again. But the schedule of the IOPC is not just done yet. And there are plenty of more tournaments to go. There are plenty of live streams also more to go. And in the meantime, though, let's try and connect with our winner, Piyush Jain, who was playing as jacks apart. And let's see if we can get him on the line. Piyush, can you hear us?
Hello.
Yes, Piyush, hi. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Well, first of all, Piyush, congratulations. What a fantastic finish to this tournament. Wonderfully played. And, you just ran the end of that final table in such a, and I must say, in such creative ways also. But congratulations, fantastic victory. And as they say at the end of every major sporting event, कैसा लग रहा है आपको?
Yeah, it feels great. One of my biggest victories. And before the final table, I did a little bit of research on how the other opponents are and whom I have to play tight against, whom I can go a bit aggressive against. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the result, and yeah, I hope many more to come.
You began, of course, this final table in the middle of the pack with a little over 33 big blinds. From there to that final finish, you played a couple of hands very, very interestingly, which I'm sure my co-commentator Gunjan Mal is going to, ask you about. But when the final table started, you did your research, of course, on your opponents. What was the main thought? Let's just make sure we get in as deep as possible and then try and flex your chip stacks muscle a little bit. Was that the plan right through?
So my plan was that I was in the middle of the pack and the lowest was 10 bigs. So I thought initially I'll be playing very tight because I didn't want to go out at the end of the tournament. So initially I was playing tight, and then I had in mind that I have to play very carefully against the big stacks, especially Mozzie and CrownUp Jr. And I knew there were a couple of loose players as well, so I was applying my aggression wherever I was finding spots.
Lovely. Gunjan Mal looks like he's got at least 2 questions that he wants to ask you. So I'm going to turn it over to him.
I was watching the stream and I know those 2 questions and I have a pretty good explanation to those also.
Well, go on, Gunjan.
So first of all, Piyush bhai, congratulations. बहुत ही शानदार खेला यार आपने. मतलब एकदम after that red wedding hand, you were just unstoppable. मजा आ गया game देख के. So congratulations first of all.
Gunjan, you might remember we used to play a lot in Rockets back in 2015, 2016 weekend tournaments.
Oh, I can't see your face right now, dude. Fantastic.
That's all right. Like we used to meet every weekend, and then we used to interact with each other daily, but it's been a long time, so I can understand you won't remember each and every.
Dude, I did not remember. I did not connect that. Dude, fantastic.
That's all right. You might remember we used to start our tournaments in Rockets, and then we used to bust and go to Poker Bazi Live, and then we used to play that second tournament there.
So we were Bangalore grinders, me and Piyush. So our introduction to poker was Bangalore में Rockets and Poker Bazi Club. And if we bust in Rockets, it used to happen around 2 p.m. types, I think. Piyush,
yeah, it used to start
2 बजे अगर हम bust हो गए और वहाँ re-entry खत्म हो गया है, तो Bazi used to have a re-entry another like very close by. So we used to go on my bike or his bike and go run to Bazi to play. So
dude, basically ये पोकर के कुंभ के मेले में 2 भाई जो बिछड़ चुके थे अभी मिल चुके हैं अभी.
देखो आपको IOPC लाइव स्ट्रीम लाना पड़ा हम 2 भाइयों को मिलाने में. So thank you Peter for that. So let me ask the first question. भाई तूने एस किंग कैसे फोल्ड किया उधर? मौजी के क्रिकेट पे.
I didn't want a big stack collision to happen, and then if I would have had ace king suited or aces or kings, I would have gone for it. But then I have seen Mozzie running pretty hot in these final tables, and so I thought he might have aces, although I was blocking aces and kings, but I thought he can have aces, kings, or even queens, jacks, and then there's no point if he shoves four bet jams and flips, and then I have to again hope for a win in that flip. So that was the sole reason.
No, I agree. जब अभी मैंने इसको replay पे देखा तो I kind of understood your your reasoning कि आप मतलब top 2 stacks हो, and when इतने सारे short stack है तो आप you can just bow out and आराम से play. The second thing पीयूष, वो जो आपने 4 वाला कॉल दिया यार, मतलब तूने जन्नत को जला दिया बिल्कुल यार. जन्नत में रिवर पे बैठकर स्नैप, मतलब ये क्या था?
On that river, I knew he would definitely bet because there were a lot of things that missed. So I was anyway snapping it off. But there were, as you said, 4 hand. That hand was I won, but that other hand wherein Dr. GTO turned straight, that hand that also I snapped, but I lost that hand. So I think next. Yeah, so I think I have to.
So that is very understandable. Yeah, वो तो basically you were also blocking a straight with a jacket. So I think that was a call which is a very good call. That 4 मतलब तो जन्नत को जो होता है ना टर्मिनेटर को फाइनल ब्लो so like मतलब me and Peter had sort of and Peter and I it was my idea but basically so मतलब जन्नत is like a terminator cockroach तो तुमने एकदम उसको फाइनल ब्लो दिया वो 4 वाला कॉल करके
It's very difficult for you will not see Jannat 52 bluffing in lot of spots. Very rare moments where he's bluffing, but I just went with my intuition and called it off.
And we have seen him play in Rockets also. So you have that experience also, right?
Yeah. And even Dr. GTO used to play in Rockets. And
used to come.
So I have seen him like crushing all the online as well as live tournaments. So that was the main reason that I went for the deal heads up because I knew it would be kind of difficult for me to play blind versus blind against Dr. GTO.
No, dude, Piyush, so congratulations. This was fantastic and great to reconnect after so many years. And you shipping a final table, it is phenomenal. And with all our Rockets and Bangalore experience coming against Dr. GTO, against Neeraj, मतलब इतने पुराने रीड्स को तूने आज यूज किया है so fantastic love the performance.
Hail Team Rocket.
Well, there you go, folks. A fantastic end to this Millionaire United tournament. Our winner, Piyush Jain, playing as jacks apart, going on to win the title and 20.72 lakhs after that deal with Dr. GTO in heads up. A great performance by him. And I'm sure a lot of cookies will be bought with that particular prize money. He's definitely earned himself a lot of points on that IOPC leaderboard as well. So, many congratulations to all of the finalists of this tournament. And again, our thanks to Raj Juneja and Gunjan Mal, who have joined me in commentary for this particular live stream. And from myself, Peter Abraham, and the rest of the team here, thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you on Friday for the next live stream at this IOPC. Till then, it's goodbye from us.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Gunjan. Good night.
Thanks. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye.